Welcome to Inspire the Next Mind by Fazus.ai. Today, we're diving into a problem that, let's be honest, pretty much every software team faces, that never-ending cycle of things breaking. We're going to explore how to shift from just guessing what's wrong to truly knowing what to fix.
So, does this whole scene feel a little too familiar? The late-night pages for rollbacks, constantly putting out fires, and that draining, unplanned rework that just chips away at user trust and leaves your team completely fried. It's this chaotic loop that makes you feel like you're always playing catch-up.
You know, when things go sideways, our gut reaction is to slap on a quick fix. We add another manual step to a checklist, maybe point a finger at a flaky test. But here's the thing. Those are just the symptoms you can see. The real issue, the actual disease, is lurking way deeper in your process.
Okay, so if it's a disease, how do we diagnose it? Well, you start by checking the patient's vital signs. And for a software team, our vital signs are the DORA metrics. They give us a clean, objective snapshot of our delivery health, all based on cold, hard data. So let's break down what they actually are.
DORA metrics really boil down to two crucial and sometimes competing ideas: velocity and stability. Velocity is all about speed, right? How fast can we get awesome new stuff out to our users? Stability, on the other hand, is all about quality. How solid, how reliable is our service? Now, the real magic isn't picking one over the other. It's getting great at both. First up for velocity is deployment frequency. This one's pretty simple. How often are you successfully shipping code to production? A higher number here usually means you've got a really slick, automated delivery pipeline. Just to give you an idea, the elite teams, they're doing this on demand, sometimes many times a day.
Our second velocity metric is lead time for changes. Think of this as the total travel time, from the moment a developer commits a piece of code, all the way until that code is live and in the hands of users. A short lead time is a huge sign of an efficient, agile process, and it means your team can respond to what users need, like right now.
All right, let's switch gears to stability. We have change failure rate, or CFR. This is the percentage of your deployments that end up causing some kind of failure, forcing you to roll back or ship a hotfix. This is a massive indicator of your overall quality, and it's the metric we're really going to dig into today.
And our last DORA metric is time to restore service. Look, failures are going to happen. It's just a fact of life. So when one does hit, how fast can your team bounce back? This isn't just about speed. It's a measure of your team's resilience and your ability to keep the impact on your users as small as possible.
Okay, so you've got your dashboards all set up, you're tracking your DORA metrics, and suddenly one of them goes bright red. Your change failure rate is through the roof. What's the knee-jerk reaction? Well, for most teams, it's to fall into a really common trap. They start guessing.
This slide really lays it all out. You've got two paths. On one side, there's the guessing game. It's all based on opinions, hunches, and it leads to these flimsy, temporary band-aids. But on the other side, you've got a real diagnosis that's driven by data, it hunts for the root cause, and it creates solutions that actually stick. To do that, we need a system.
And that system has a name. It's called DMAIC. Now, this isn't some new fad. It actually comes from the world of manufacturing and Six Sigma. It is a proven, battle-tested framework for doing exactly what we're talking about, moving from just guessing to actually knowing. It gives you a clear roadmap to solve really complex problems for good.
DMAIC. It's just an acronym for 5 pretty straightforward steps. First, you define the problem with crystal clear specifics. Then you measure where you are right now. You analyze the data to find the real root cause. Then, and only then, do you improve the process and put controls in place to make sure the fix sticks.
All right, enough with the theory. Let's make this feel real. We're going to walk through a case study of a team that used this exact DMAIC framework to tackle their super high change failure rate on a service that was absolutely critical to their business.
So first up, define. They don't just say, our CFR is bad. No, they get specific. The change failure rate for the payment service is a painful 22%. Their goal is tangible and measurable. Get it under 10% in 60 days. They scope it only to that service. And this is so important, they capture the customer's voice, that real human pain of those 2 a.m. rollbacks.
So after they measure and get a baseline, they move to analyze. And right away, the data just screams at them. It's a classic 80-20 situation. A massive 75% of all their production failures are coming from one single place, the payment service. This is a huge aha moment. Now they know exactly where to point their flashlight.
Now they gotta dig even deeper. So they use this brilliantly simple technique called the 5 whys. They start with the obvious problem, a bad connection string, and they just keep asking why at every step. And as they peel back the layers, they blow past all the symptoms and find it, the real disease. There's no single source of truth for their configuration. That's the thing they have to fix.
So, with the root cause finally in their sights, they move to the improve phase. They come up with a targeted solution. Let's use infrastructure as code to manage all our configs in Git. They run a 60-day pilot focusing only on the payment service. And the results? Whoa, they're dramatic. The change failure rate plummets from 22% all the way down to 8%. The fix isn't just a theory anymore. The data proves it works.
A successful pilot is awesome, but this last step, control, is what makes the change permanent. And you can't skip it. They make the new process the official way of doing things. They keep an eye on the metric using their dashboards, and most importantly, they mistake-proof the system. They lock down direct access to configs, making it basically impossible to make the same mistake again. They didn't just fix the problem, they changed the system.
So what's the big payoff here? Well, this team went on a real journey. They started in a state of chaotic, reactive firefighting, and they ended up in a place of proactive control and predictability.
And this right here, this is the whole point. Using a process like DMAIC isn't just about making a number on a chart look better. When you find and fix the actual root cause, you fundamentally improve your entire system. You build a more reliable product, and you create a more effective, less stressed out team.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Think about your own team, your own daily grind. What is that one nagging, persistent problem that you could finally solve for good if you just stopped guessing and started diagnosing?